The following statements you are about to hear are not made to offend or hurt anybody's feelings, although we may discuss serious topics. It's all entertainment, man. In all reality, don't take too serious. Have fun, laugh a little bit, relax. Let's talk about it. Shades Talk.
All right, P.
What up, what up?
I want to ask you about this Jim Jones Nas.
Oh, man. It's Jim Jones Nas, man. Here we go. All
right, so recently, it's not really a debate, but there was some discussion because a young man, and I'm gonna keep it real because music is generational.
Facts.
There's people that I thought was cracking that my son has no idea who they are.
Okay.
And there's people now that he's really hyped up about that I've heard that I'm not too wild about.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it just is what it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Goes with the times. But some shit is classic. Some music is timeless. And a young dude said that he was comparing the inspiration Jim Jones had on him versus Nas. He's like, he don't really know who Nas is, never heard a Nas song.
Yeah.
This, that, and the third. And he said he got a little swag from Jim Jones as far as the way he dressed, the jewelry,
right?
You know what I'm saying, the True Religion and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
the Chrome Hearts.
Chrome Hearts.
Yeah.
Nah, he did True Religion too. I remember that. Yeah. That was first.
So, and I understood where he was coming from, but then Jimmy got on line and went on multiple platforms and then started stating all these credentials.
Yeah.
As far as why he feels like the argument is justified for him to be on a quote-unquote music level as Nas. And he said something about how many times Nas chart. All right. I don't know the numbers, but I'm about to look them up.
I was about to say, that first to knock out the numbers part, that was definitely proving that Nas had more Billboard hits and number one hits
for sure.
Jim Jones. And matter of fact, just to shoot Jim Jones some bell, he even did recant his statement on the Shay Show. Your boy Shannon Sharp, he did say, because Shannon Sharp, you smoke weed, don't you, boy? He was like, yeah, you know what I mean. I might have been tweaking a little bit, so he did.
Okay, he did
recant that a little bit,
that
man.
Part. All right.
Yeah, so
okay. So I'm not even going to dig those numbers up because it was so astronomically different as far as...
Yeah, it wasn't no comparison. Jim had like two to like... Nas had like 10. And Jim had no number one hits. And
bro.
Nas had like 5 or something crazy. Like, I don't know the numbers per diem, but they were... per diem, I'm tripping. Per se. But, yeah. But to answer your question though, bro... We in the fame is a hell of a drug, or whatever Rick James said. Attention is a hell of a drug. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta stay relevant in today's times when you celebrity, right? So you kind of do what you gotta do to stay relevant.
For sure.
Jim Jones has definitely stayed relevant. With this Nas comparison and Nas conversation. I will say in the same conversation, because you kind of remember we had talked about Game and his antics and how it takes away from the music.
Yep.
Jim Jones been making dope music. Now, yes, he didn't come in the game as a rapper and he learned the game from Mace Cam and had to get better, but his music catalog, I say the last 10 years been decent. You know what I mean? So doing that, in my eyes, as an artist, as a writer, you know what I'm saying? As a musician, like it takes away from the music when you do the goofy stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? But hey, I get it. You doing what you feel you got to do. But nah, you know what I'm saying? We all know what it is. Nas is a legend. Right. He's the GOAT. One of the GOATs. He got one of the greatest hip hop albums in history, and he did that at 19 years old. And he made it. He's one of the ones. He's like on the Mount Rushmore. Like let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I get what the young homie's saying, but
yeah, I get what he's saying.
As far as Jim Jones, he was his inspiration for his swag. The True Religions, the Chrome Hearts, all the the jewelry, the fashion. I get all of that, but what I will say, that's not musically. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference between, the culture and the hip hop and the fashion. But to say that, I would still say to the youngin', like, go peep Illmatic. Go peep Stillmatic. It was written.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just bypass history, I guess. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the old head saying, wagging my finger, dog, but that's I think that's kind of the problem with today's, and it's been a trickle down effect because our generation had to go back in time in history too. You know what I mean? We 80s babies, but raised in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. So we had to learn about the stylistics, the Earth, Wind, and Fires, the Luther Vandross, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had to go back and do our due diligence as musicians, as the younger generation, to appreciate what we do have now. So I would say, I understand, dog, but go back and do your Googles, man, and people what he doing now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Nas is the true definition of what it means to grow in hip hop. Back to the ageism conversation. I know I'm peeling back onions. You know how I go, bro. My bad. He was like, we're just doing a 2-minute segment. But real quick, Nas is showing you how to do it. Investments, music, you know what I mean? How to grow in hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, he's from Queens. A man about to build a whole casino there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he put he put some bread into this what's the joint? The Ring. The joints you got in the crib that looks over the
Ring camera.
The Ring camera.
Yeah.
He invested in that like 10 years ago, and that turned into $200 million.
Right? He's investing in hell.
You know what I'm saying? So like at the end of the day, don't let this Jim Jones Nas stuff take away from the greatness and what he contributed to not only hip hop but to our culture as Black people. Don't take away from what Nas has done and what it's still doing.
Well said. I don't think there's really much more to say, but I will add this. I think he was talking about not only style-wise, the clothing and whatnot. I think he was talking about the music too.
Okay.
You got to understand, when we talk about music, it's when you talking about that person's opinion on music, it can be a super wide range of information that they've collaborated, or it can literally be at the smallest amount of info that they've gained. And what I mean by that, there's people that have only listened to one type of music their whole life because that's what they like. That's what they grew up around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's people that have never listened to rock music. They don't listen to rap. There's people that listen to rock music that have never listened to rap. So, you know, it's to each their own. But I will say this, when you are in the game of hip hop and you think you're a fan of hip hop, you got to do your homework and you got to be open to listen to all of it, because what you were going through at that point in time, there was a predecessor to it.
Thanks.
And they probably got their swag from that, a little bit apart from that, this, that, and the third, you know what I'm saying? And Jim Jones even said it himself, he was a big Nas fan. We were all Nas fans because Nas was one of the guys on the Mount Rushmore. When it came to the lyricism, you know what I'm saying? When it came to the style, the same way
Jim Jones motivated Homie, Nas motivated Jim Jones. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. I don't think he was shitting on Nas though. He was just giving his opinion about how he felt like Jim Jones impacted his life. But Jimmy did go a little crazy trying to compare the two, knowing the truth, because he's almost 50 years old, so he know the truth. He's been around forever. You know what I'm saying? He's actually older than us, so.
Can I say this, bro?
Oh, go ahead.
Nas got a song for everything in life, and he has a song for this moment, and it's called Second Childhood. Y'all go peep that.
Yeah. So.
Yes, sir.
But that's just that, you know what I'm saying? Pay homage to the people that come before you at the end of the day, because they impacted you, and you got a lot of what you got from them, and that's why you thriving out here today. Period. You know what I'm saying? Respect to Jim Jones and the whole diplomat movement.
Absolutely.
But you know, Nas the God, you can't. We're not going to compare oranges and apples. Period.